Okay, point T is the incenter of my triangle. So we want to find ST. So the incenter of a triangle is basically where all of my angle bisectors meet in the center, okay? So the theorem that we learned was that from the incenter, if I draw a line that's perpendicular to the side of my triangle from the incenter, so all three of these lines, those are all congruent to each other. So everything in red is congruent to each other. So if I want to find ST, which is this side right here, I know that WT is congruent to TU, which is also congruent to ST. So as long as I know one of those, I know the other three. Well, the other two, sorry. So WT is 15, so that means 15 is equal to ST as well. Okay, for the next one, what we want to do is actually find the value of x that makes P the incenter of my triangle. So we have to figure out what this right here is in order, well, sorry, using this, assuming that this is my incenter. So what I need to do first is I know that all of these in blue are congruent to each other. So technically all of these are going to be x's, right? I don't have any of those x's, so I need to find it. But I do have this side that's 13 and this side that is 12. So somebody tell me what my next step is to do.
You have to add them all together.
I'm not going to add them all together.
Wait, multiply.
What theorem do I need to use? Keep it.
Equilateral. I can't pronounce it.
That really old guy.
Pythagorean.
Great. Oh, Kiki already got it. Pythagorean theorem. So I need to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Oh, this.
Okay? Because technically this is a right triangle. So if I pull that triangle out, like this is my x. Here's my 90-degree angle. My other leg is 12, and the last side is 13. So my C is always the hypotenuse.
It's always your longest side.
Yes, it's always my longest side. So I need to plug the 13 in as my hypotenuse, which is C. So that's going to go over here, 13 squared. And the x and the 12, it doesn't matter if you put it in for A or B. So I'm going to say x squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. So my first step is to actually square those numbers. X squared stays x squared. 12 squared, which is 12 times 12 is 144. And 13 squared is 169. Okay, so what is my first step in solving this?
I think you square root the answer you got.
Before I have to do that, that's going to be my very last thing. Yeah, I have to subtract that 144 in order to get x squared by itself. So I have x squared equals 25. Now, Kiki, what do I do to get x by itself?
You square root.
Now I take the square root, because the opposite of squaring something is taking the square root. So that leaves x by itself. And if I take the square root of 25, my answer would be 5, because 5 times 5 is 25.